All right, let's talk about one of the most influential personal finance books of all time. I'm talking about Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It came out way back in 1997, and it has sold millions and millions of copies. And there's a really good reason why. It just completely flips the script on how most people think about money. And this quote right here, this is the idea at the very heart of the entire book. It sounds so simple, right? But this one little sentence, it challenges everything most of us were ever taught about earning a living. It's a really powerful hook that just sets the stage for a total shift in perspective. So, to get this big idea across, Kiyosaki uses this really clever storytelling tool. He tells the story of his two fathers, and each one had a completely different philosophy about money, about work, about, well, everything.
And the contrast between these two guys is just, wow. His poor dad, that was his actual father. Super educated, had a safe and stable government job. He did everything that society tells you is the right way to do things. But then there was Rich Dad, who was his best friend's father. He was a business owner who, even with less formal schooling, just got how wealth really works.
And that brings us to the most crucial point. This book isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It's all about a fundamental, deep-down shift in your mindset. It argues that your financial future has way less to do with the size of your paycheck and way more to do with your personal philosophy about money.
So this difference in mindset, it leads directly to the biggest problem the book identifies. It's a trap that keeps really smart, hardworking people financially stuck their entire lives. And he has a name for it, the rat race. Does that sound a little too familiar? You know the drill. You get a raise at work. So what do? You buy a nicer car or a bigger house. But then your expenses go up, your debt goes up. And all of a sudden, you need that paycheck more than ever. You're just running faster and faster on that hamster wheel, but you're not actually going anywhere. That, my friends, is the rat race. Okay, so if you're in the rat race, how in the world do you get out? Well, Kiyosaki lays out a few key lessons that are all designed to break that cycle. And it really all boils down to one big shift, moving your focus from just earning a salary to actually owning things that make money for you. So these are pretty much the 4 pillars of the Rich Dad way of thinking. First, it all starts with educating yourself. Because let's be honest, they don't teach you this stuff in school. Then you have to truly understand the difference between an asset and a liability. After that, it's about creating income streams that don't require you to work. And finally, learning to see failure not as the end, but as a crucial part of the learning process.
Now, if you only take one thing away from this whole book, let it be this. This concept is so simple it's almost deceptive, but most people get it completely backward. Forget all the complicated accounting terms you've ever heard. It's this simple. If something puts money in your pocket, it's an asset. If it takes money out of your pocket, it's a liability. Period. So, to make it super clear, an asset could be something like a rental property that brings in cash every month or stocks that pay you dividends. A liability, on the other hand, is that brand new car with a huge monthly payment and crazy insurance, or that credit card debt that's just sucking money out of your bank account with interest payments.
And here's the game-changing shift in behavior. Rich people use their income to buy more assets. Those assets then generate more income, which they use to buy even more assets. You see, it's a powerful upward spiral of wealth. But most other people, they tend to use their hard-earned income to buy liabilities, things that look impressive but are actually making them poorer over time.
Now, for as huge as this book is, it's definitely not without its critics. So let's take a fair and balanced look. We need to see what makes people absolutely love it, but also understand where some people think it falls a little short. So on one side, people love it. Why? Because it uses simple stories to make really big financial ideas easy to grasp. It's incredibly motivational. It makes you feel like you can do it. But on the other hand, critics will point out that it's all philosophy and not much practical step-by-step strategy. Some folks also say the advice is a little too obsessed with real estate. So, keeping all that in mind, the good and the bad, what's the real takeaway here? What's the book's ultimate purpose?
And this right here is the bottom line. If you pick up Rich Dad, Poor Dad looking for a detailed guide on which specific stocks to buy, you're going to be disappointed. Its true value isn't as a how-to guide, it's a wake-up call. It's meant to completely rewire your brain and make you see the world of money through a whole new set of eyes.
It's really challenging you to question the path that you're on. It's pushing you to take full responsibility for your own financial education, to focus your energy on building systems that create passive income, and to seriously rethink how secure a traditional 9-to-5 job really is in the long run.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Look, whether you agree with every single thing in the book or not, you can't deny its core ideas are powerful. So after hearing this breakdown, what's just one assumption you've had about money or your career that might be worth a second look?